Early decision one versus early decision two strategy. That is the topic of today's video. My name is CollegeMeister. I'm a college admissions coach. You can learn more about me and how you can work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process on my website, which is CollegeMeister.com. And if you're interested in learning about whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America, go on over to my free 3-minute online assessment, areyouontracktogetin.com. Again, that's areyouontracktogetin.com. You will complete a free 3-minute assessment. Your results will be emailed to you right away, and they will help you clarify whether or not you are or your student is on track for selective college admission in the United States of America. So I recently got a comment on one of my videos asking me to try to share more about my thoughts about ED1 versus ED2, early decision 1 versus early decision 2. Early decision 1 is usually an admissions plan that a college has by which you apply, let's say by October 15th or November 1st, in some cases November 15th. And you usually hear back with an admissions decision in December. And if you get in, you're binded to go. You must attend, basically, that university, and you promise to pool your applications for all other institutions that you've already applied to, early action or rolling or priority, as well as not submit any new applications for regular decision. The benefit from the student perspective of early decision is that you get in early, and you also have a higher percentage chance of getting in statistically, because most colleges that offer early decision 1 have a higher acceptance rate for early decision 1 than they do for regular decision. Then some early decision 1 colleges also offer early decision 2. So that's a January 1 deadline usually, or January 5th. And usually you hear back by the middle of February, right around Valentine's Day. It's the same premise where you're binded to go if you get in by the middle of February. But there's a little less advantage in terms of the statistics. Usually early decision 2 acceptance rates are lower than early decision 1 acceptance rates. And the benefit of hearing early is not as early, right? You're not hearing before winter break, mid-December. You're hearing in the middle of February, which is basically just a month or a month and a half before you would have always heard anyway from regular decision, which is late March or early April. So there are less benefits from the college perspective too, in the sense that, again, they're going to give you a not as low usually of an acceptance rate, though sometimes or not as high of an acceptance rate. Usually it's a slightly lower acceptance rate from early decision 1. Sometimes it's actually very close acceptance rate to the regular decision acceptance rate, actually. So what are my thoughts with early decision 1 versus early decision 2? Well, I'm a big believer that the early bird gets the worm. And I try with my students, my one-on-one clients, to always try, if they have the interest in a first choice school and it offers early decision, I really do, and they financially feel confident enough applying without knowing what their financial commitment would be, I do really push early decision 1 as much as I can. And to do early decision 1 and do it well, you really have to get your ducks in a row by the end of your junior year into the summer before your senior year, so that you can pull the trigger early in your senior year and you have every piece of your application in sterling condition and really in a strong position. And that's where I really try to focus my energy with my one-on-one clients. Try to do early decision 1 if you can. Now, in every personal situation, there are reasons why you may not want to do early decision 1. Financially, it could be a really big concerning question mark. Maybe you got strong academically later in your high school career and you want one more quarter or semester of grades to show colleges before you apply, and you feel like it's going to be so strong and you're taking such rigorous courses, you feel like early decision 1 could cut your nose to spite your face, and you would want to apply a little bit later so that they could see your first semester grades that were so strong relative to maybe 9th or 10th grade that they're willing to really consider you much more strongly than they would consider if they saw no senior year grades or just first quarter senior year grades. So every situation is unique, but 9 times out of 10, I really do encourage early decision 1. Now, after you've gotten deferred or rejected from an early decision 1 school, that's the time in which you got to strategize. Is it a situation where I need or would want very strongly to consider early decision 2? And I think in a lot of situations, early decision 2 makes a lot of sense after you've already gotten deferred or rejected from an early decision 1 school. Because if you've gotten deferred or rejected from an early decision 1 school, let's say around December 15th, that was your first choice school most likely, or that was your dream school, and now you've just gotten rejected or deferred, something has gone wrong. Either you overshot, meaning you applied to too big of a reach, and you were always in dreamland to apply to such a big reach. In which case, that bodes poorly for your ability to really game plan out what is a safety, what is a possible, what is a reach. So you would want every additional advantage possible to you with the remainder of your list. And therefore, you might want to consider an ED2 school, because if there's even a 5% higher acceptance rate for ED2 at a particular school on your list versus regular at a particular school on the list, at least it's going to give you a little bit better edge than feeding yourself to the sharks regular decision. But the other situation would be is, let's say you really thought you were going to get into your early decision one school. Like, you thought you had a good shot. You did everything beautifully. You were in their range, and you still got deferred or rejected from that early decision school. At that point, if you really still pine for that school, obviously you can't apply ED2, because you're basically foreclosing the opportunity to see what happens to you regular decision at the ED1 school. But if you're sort of over that school and realize the writing's on the wall that they're most likely going to reject you regular, then if you have a strong second choice school and you feel like you maybe just lost out by a hair, and you very strongly feel that an early decision 2 school on your list would be a place you'd be very happy to attend, I would push again for an ED2 situation there, because you're giving yourself the best bounce possible in terms of acceptance rate for getting into that school. It's still going to be most likely higher, even if just by a couple percentage points, for ED2 than it would be for regular. And in some cases, it's still 10, 15, 20 percentage point higher acceptance rate for ED2 than it would be for regular. So if that is a strong school on your list, if it's truly your second choice school, or maybe now it's become your first choice school after getting deferred from your true first choice school for ED1, I'm a big believer in ED2. So my general approach is, I like ED. Anytime ED is being mentioned, I like it. You can only do one ED at a time, of course. If you got shut out of both EDs, then I guess you were just destined to go regular. But again, if you're getting shut out of both EDs, that also bodes pretty poorly for your ability to really game plan out the likelihood of you getting into a school, or you're just overshooting, and you know you're overshooting, and you're dreaming big, but these dreams are never going to come true. So overall, I believe in ED1 over ED2 if you can swing it. But if you're left with an ED2 school on your list, that's a strong school on your list, you like that school, you would be happy to attend, I would definitely apply their ED2 over regular, to do everything you possibly can to throw everything in the kitchen sink at the ability of getting in before having to endure the regular decision cycle, which has become a complete expletive. I cannot even share the word in terms of how crazed it has become, and how colleges make wild decisions. And I would not want to endure the Wild West or the Shark Tank that is the regular decision cycle if I could avoid it. But again, if you truly don't have a particular first choice school, and you don't want to bind yourself anywhere, and you want to see your financial offers, then no ED ever makes sense. And so when I produce YouTube videos, it's very hard to produce videos that satisfy everyone, because everyone is in a different economic situation, social situation, personal situation, academic interest situation, professional goal situation. And so combining all these things together is really where you get the best guidance. And that's why I strongly recommend that you work with someone who knows you. Hopefully that's your high school counselor. Hopefully you feel like you're getting enough guidance from him or her, and they know all the variables in your life so that they can give you bespoke guidance to best support you. But if you feel like you're not getting that from your high school counselor or other trusted individuals in your life, that's the point at which you would really want to consider working with me or someone else like me. Though there is no me, right? Everyone is individual. So there's only one CollegeMeister. There's only one CraigMeister, just like there's only one you. And so I would obviously strongly recommend that you work with me by going to CollegeMeister.com to learn about whether or not ED1 or ED2 makes sense for you and your unique situation. But if you don't want to work with me because I'm just not your style, or you have someone down the street that you know better and you feel like they have a lot of success in terms of guiding people, by all means, work with that person. But you deserve strong, bespoke, comprehensive guidance as you navigate the college admissions process. I offer it as a college admissions coach and expert of almost 20 years. You get a sense of my style through these videos. And if you feel like you would jibe with my style, I strongly recommend, again, you go to CollegeMeister.com. But no matter what you do, I strongly recommend that you get personalized guidance, because no video can tell you on YouTube, no video can tell you what you should do for your unique situation vis-a-vis ED1 or ED2. But you should educate yourself about both plans, and you should, of course, know going in, definitely no later than August of your senior year, which colleges on your list offer ED1 versus ED2 versus EA versus REA versus rolling versus regular versus priority. And some even colleges offer something called open admissions or instant admissions. I mean, all different colleges offer all different combinations and permutations of these plans. And you will make the right decision about how to apply to a college once you know all the ways in which you can apply to the college. So definitely make sure you educate yourself at that foundational level before you start completing and even submitting your application, so that you can decide when you want to apply in the right order to these schools on your list, so you can have a manageable application cycle while also juggling senior year courses, maybe final testing, other things on your plate like extracurricular activities. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel. If you want to work with me one-on-one throughout the entire college admissions process, go to my website, CollegeMeister.com. Until next time, stay safe, stay well, and most importantly, stay stress-free throughout the entire college admissions process.